Hi, welcome to the Mount Lebanon Minute. I'm M.A. Jackson from the Mount Lebanon Public Information Office, and with me today is Police Chief Coleman McDonough. Hi, Coleman.
Hi, Margaret. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you today?
Great.
Traffic, and especially speeding, is a pretty big concern in Mount Lebanon, important enough that the department has its own traffic unit. Could you tell me a little bit about what they do?
I'd be glad to. You nailed it. Traffic in Mount Lebanon is definitely a priority with the municipality and obviously with the police department too. Our traffic services unit was established to address some of those concerns. As you know, we have a fixed road grid in Mount Lebanon. We have a very densely populated community, and we have a lot of people that use our roads in addition to the Mount Lebanon residents. So we do have quite a bit of traffic volume. All our officers, our uniformed officers, are expected to conduct traffic enforcement in the course of their duties. But we want to take it to the next level, so the police department established a traffic services unit. They have the time. They're not called away to respond to calls. They're dedicated to traffic safety. And they address traffic safety issues through three tactics in a strategy. And the three tactics are enforcement, education, and engineering. Enforcement is pretty obvious. That's a function of any police department. Our traffic services unit does an outstanding job in DUI enforcement, for example. On the education side, we have one of our officers often conducts driver education for new drivers or those about to become new drivers. They also spend a lot of time working with both our crime prevention unit and with school officials to design some programs to improve traffic safety. One example would be our safe walking routes, pedestrian routes, because when you think in terms of traffic safety, you can't limit yourself just to vehicles, but it's also, in a community like this, it's pedestrians as well. So they established safe pedestrian walking routes. On the engineering side, they work very closely with the municipal engineers, traffic engineers. They're often out evaluating signage and traffic control devices to see if those signs and signals are effective. In some areas, determinations are made, maybe we have too many signs, they confuse people, or maybe in other places we need additional signs. And lastly, the unit fields a lot of citizen calls, complaints on traffic-related issues, and they spend a lot of their time addressing complaints from citizens.
Okay. Well, now, if people have a concern about speeding in their neighborhood, what is the first step that they should take? Well,
I think the first thing we'd ask is they don't call 911, but instead contact the traffic services unit. The easiest way to do that is to call 412-343-4086, and that will either get you directly to a traffic services officer, or you can leave a message and they'll get back to you as quickly as they can. At that point, the traffic services officer, if it's a speeding complaint, will determine if we have data for that particular location where a citizen might feel there's a problem. If they don't, the most common tactic is we'll go out with a speed timing device, either the trailer that people often see, or if we want to keep it a little quieter, we'll put it on a pole where it's not as visible to motorists. And it's usually left in place for about a week. At the end of the week, we'll have data as to volume of traffic, the number of vehicles that come through, and also the speed of the vehicles. We'll then download the data, we'll analyze it, and we'll determine if we do have a speeding problem there. If we do, then we can identify what dates and what times when the most speeding offenses are taking place, and we can use our resources and target that location at those times to try to do a little enforcement.
That's pretty impressive, but now I've heard that it's usually the residents that are speeding.
Unfortunately, experience shows that is often the case. And I guess if you think about it, it's understandable, it's human nature. Most people are comfortable with the roads that they live on, they know their community, they may feel a little more comfortable traveling those roads at a little greater speed. That, of course, doesn't resolve them of their responsibility to concentrate on their driving and focus on their speedometer, which especially today in terms of distracted driving, we have issues with cell phone usage while people drive. We have issues with texting while people drive. It takes a concentrated effort to drive according to the law. But of course, we think that the benefits outweigh their texting or cell phone usage.
Well, now, if you determine that there is an issue, is it difficult to get a stop sign or a traffic light placed at an intersection?
If a citizen wants if a citizen feels that a signal or a sign is necessary, or they think it would be improve safety at an intersection, I would suggest that they get themselves on the agenda for our municipal traffic board. The Municipal Traffic Board meets every first Wednesday of the month here in the municipal building at 710 Washington Road. The best course of action would be to contact Lieutenant Mike McMurtry. That's the police department's liaison with the traffic board. Lieutenant McMurtry can be contacted at 412-440-2034. He'll talk to you about the complaint. If you get on the agenda, there's an opportunity for citizens to brief the traffic board on their complaints, and the traffic board will review it. They do have the option of asking for a traffic engineer to do a study to determine if a sign or signal is warranted at that particular location.
Now, the Mount Lebanon Police don't use radar to monitor speeders. Why is this?
Well, short answer is it's prohibited by statute. To my knowledge, Pennsylvania is the only state of 50 that restricts radar for speed enforcement usage to state police officers. We do have some other electronic control devices we use for speed, but radar would be very effective to help us to monitor speed and to enforce speed. If citizens in this municipality feel that they want to improve our ability to enforce traffic laws and improve traffic safety, I would encourage you to reach out to your legislator and let them know that that concern. I really don't understand why Pennsylvania has not permitted the use of radar by local police officers.
And what is the police department's website?
You got me.
We almost got through that. Perfect. Well, why don't you log on to www.mountlebanon.org, and there is a link to the police department's website. This has been the Mount Lebanon Minute. I'm M.A. Jackson, and this was Coleman McDonough, the police chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.